Within a week, Shanghai was hit by 2 typhoons. The city and its subway system were flooded, people were trapped, and the number of casualties is still unknown. A Shanghai citizen said, "It is 6:30 in the morning on September 20th, and I can show you that everything is flooded. Cars have broken down, and the water is basically up to the knees." Typhoon Pulasan made its second landfall on the coast of Xi'an district, Shanghai, on the evening of September 19th, with maximum wind speeds reaching level 9 at its center. The storm brought strong winds, heavy rain, and thunderstorms to the area. Another Shanghai resident commented, "Shanghai had a night of heavy rain, and now the entrance to our community looks like this. The water inside can't flow out." Despite the disaster, no rescue efforts were organized by the authorities, and some people took the opportunity to profit from the situation. After a night of torrential rain, most areas of Shanghai were submerged the following morning. Streets and vehicles were flooded, with people riding bicycles through the water and wading through the streets to get to work. Many subway stations in the Pudongnu area were also flooded, leaving passengers trapped at the doors, unable to enter or exit. Some residents noted that Typhoon Babegia brought strong winds, while Typhoon Pulasan brought heavy rain, with the 2 consecutive storms causing significant damage. A resident of Pudong District, Shanghai, shared, "I was cleaning the sewer on the terrace at around 4 a.m. and didn't sleep all night. This year's typhoons have been especially harsh for us." The villages and towns around Shanghai were even more severely impacted. On September 16th, Typhoon Babegia, the 13th typhoon of the year, made landfall in Shanghai. On the 19th, Typhoon Pulasan landed in Zhoushan, Zhejiang, and then moved into Hangzhou Bay, eventually making a second landfall in Shanghai. In just 1 week, the city faced 2 typhoons, an unprecedented event. On Friday, the 20th, the typhoon caused a tornado in Qingpu District, Shanghai, with the funnel cloud clearly visible from 10 kilometers away. At the same time, Pulasan brought record-breaking rainfall, mainly affecting Fengxian, Pudong, Minhang, and other districts. The cofferdam of the Huangpu River overflowed, flooding pedestrian areas on both sides. A large number of vehicles in the city were submerged, causing them to stall on the roads and paralyzing local traffic. At the entrance of the swimming pool subway station, there was a vast ocean, and passengers were unable to enter or exit through several exits. Ms. Wang, a resident of Nicheng Town, Shanghai, said, "When I got up at 5 a.m., the water level was really deep, already up to my knees. Water was everywhere. Several communities were flooded, and there were many flooded cars. Many people like me woke up to find their cars flooded. I didn't expect such heavy rain this time, and no one took precautions. I've never seen our community flooded like this before. It's the first time in my life." Some residents mentioned that Typhoon Babegia was windy, while Pulasan brought heavy rain. The 2 consecutive typhoons caused huge losses. Mr. Zhang, a resident of Huinan Town, Shanghai, said, "The rainfall is very heavy. It's all flooded now. The trees that were just propped up have fallen down again. The river and the park are a mess. The flooding is too severe. All the shops along Jinghai Road have been flooded, and they're cleaning up." Pulasan changed direction near Changzhou and continued to move northeast. The center of the typhoon has now left mainland China. The CCP's push for delayed retirement has triggered public resentment, leading to a surge in people withdrawing their insurance in many areas. The CCP authorities recently announced plans to gradually delay the retirement age over the next 15 years, along with an increase in the minimum payment period for receiving pensions from 15 to 20 years. This has sparked widespread public dissatisfaction. After many people realized that their opposition was futile, they lost confidence in the government and rushed to social security centers to withdraw their insurance in an attempt to minimize losses, resulting in a spike in insurance withdrawals. The Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of the Communist Party of China announced on September 13th that it would implement a gradual delay in the statutory retirement age. Starting on January 1st, 2025, the retirement age for male employees will be gradually raised from 60 to 63 years, while the retirement age for female employees and female cadres will be increased from 50 and 55 to 55 and 58 years, respectively. Additionally, from January 1, 2030, the minimum payment period for pension eligibility will be extended by 6 months each year until it reaches 20 years. Those who reach retirement age without meeting the minimum payment period will need to either extend their contributions or make a lump sum payment to qualify for the basic pension. In response to the delayed retirement and extended payment period, many criticized the authorities for lacking a contractual spirit and expressed concern that they may never receive their pensions. Many have calculated that under the new policy, their eventual pensions might be lower than the amount they had paid into insurance, leading to widespread withdrawals from Social Security. On mainland social media, users have shared screenshots of successful online insurance withdrawal applications, with some offering their thoughts on the matter. One netizen posted a screenshot of the suspension registration application form, with the caption, "For my child's schooling, I persisted in paying for 6 years. Now, the authorities have gone back on their word, forcing me to stop. If the money isn't refunded, that means I've worked for nothing for 6 years. The deductions come more regularly than my showing filial piety to my parents. This is hard-earned money. Where can ordinary people like us seek justice?" Some people are caught in a dilemma, criticizing the government for ignoring public suffering. According to official regulations, Social Security must be paid for a sufficient number of years to receive a pension. Suspending Social Security payments effectively means wasting previous contributions. However, many feel that continuing to pay will lead to even greater losses, leaving them unsure of what to do. A Weibo host shared a video explaining the cost comparison and voiced his concerns about whether to withdraw. Both he and his wife purchased social insurance as flexible workers. He started paying in April last year, and his wife began in January the year before. They originally thought the payments would provide a basic livelihood in old age. However, after the new delayed retirement rules were announced, they considered withdrawing their insurance. After calculating, they realized the burden of paying social insurance had become heavier. He has paid for 17 months so far, at 1,277 yuan per month, totaling 21,700 yuan. Now, he can only withdraw 40%, which amounts to 8,600 yuan. His wife paid for 32 months at 1,195 yuan per month, totaling over 38,000 yuan. If she withdraws, she will only get back around 15,000 yuan. Together, they have paid over 60,000 yuan, but can only withdraw 24,000 yuan. This has left them unsure whether to continue paying or to withdraw. Netizen Gay Yan commented, "The minimum period for flexible employment pensions has increased to 20 years. Now, some people are considering canceling their insurance. The hardest hit are those who have only paid for a few years. They thought they could grit their teeth and get through 15 years. No one expected this change. Those who have paid for over 10 years probably shouldn't cancel. But for those just starting out, they need to think carefully before committing. It's especially tough for those who've only paid for a few years. If they cancel, they'll only get back a small portion. But if they continue, the journey is long, and payments will increase annually. Earning money is already difficult, making the situation very uncomfortable. Xi'an, can't they hear the voices of the people? Shuang, there is no contractual spirit, they change the rules on a whim. Healthy rich woman, flexible workers have no job security. It's really miserable. The pension funds controlled by the Chinese Communist Party are facing a serious deficit, and China's aging population is becoming increasingly problematic. The Chinese Academy of Social Science. Chinese young people broke down and cried. Middle-aged people struggle to survive. The Chinese economy is facing a serious recession across all industries and sectors, with waves of unemployment and bankruptcy occurring everywhere. College graduates are unable to find jobs, with the unemployment rate reaching nearly 70% after graduation, forcing many to become delivery workers to survive. As a result, the number of delivery workers in the mainland is exploding, with middle-aged unemployed people, new graduates, and others all flocking to this industry. This is an extremely difficult job, and sometimes delivery workers are despised by customers, even being beaten, scolded, and humiliated. A female college student from Weihai, Shandong Province, was verbally abused by a customer while delivering food, causing her to break down and cry. Hello everyone, I am a sophomore student. I have been delivering food since the beginning of this year and have been working for a month. Today, I encountered something particularly frustrating. I went to deliver food as usual today. A woman ordered a bowl of beef noodles for 17 yuan. There is an elevator in her community, but those without an elevator card cannot use it. After I arrived at her community, I called her and asked if I could use the elevator to deliver her order. She said, "You delivery people can't use our elevator. It's for residents only. You're not qualified. You can walk up the stairs. It's not like you don't have legs, and the 4th floor isn't that high." I felt wronged, but I climbed the stairs to deliver it to her. She was waiting for me at the door, and I handed the food to her. I had another order to deliver, which was about to be late in 3 minutes, so I hurried to deliver it. However, the woman called me shortly after and demanded that I return to her house immediately to check the dish. I had never met such a rude person, but I said, "Okay." I didn't deliver the second order and rushed back to her house. She said, "Look at the dish you delivered. How can anyone eat this?" Then, she threw the beef noodles on the ground, spilling the soup all over me. It was fine when I handed it to her, and no soup had spilled. I said, "Maybe the restaurant didn't pack it well. I'll go buy you another one." She said, "I'll give you 5 minutes. Be careful, or I'll complain about you. You can't even deliver food properly, and at your age, you should be in school." I was speechless. I called the restaurant and asked them to prepare another one. When I arrived at the restaurant, the staff told me, "There are many customers like her who spill the food themselves and then ask us to replace it." The girl said that she had never received a complaint or bad review before, and this was the first time she encountered such a customer. She felt very sad and wronged. On August 12th, a security guard in Hangzhou, Zhejiang, forced a delivery person to kneel. This incident triggered hundreds of delivery workers to protest in solidarity, resulting in clashes with the police. The delivery person who was forced to kneel was a 19-year-old female college student who worked part-time as a delivery driver. At noon on the 12th, when she arrived at Hangzhou Greentown Xixi Century Center to deliver food, she accidentally stepped on a greenbelt guardrail. The property security guard confiscated her electric scooter key, demanded that she kneel down, and pay a 200 yuan fine. At that time, she had other orders in her hands. If she couldn't deliver the food on time, it would be late, and she might receive a bad review from the customer. A single bad review could result in a deduction of hundreds of yuan in fees for the delivery person. In desperation, she was forced to kneel down and pay the fine to get her scooter keys back. After the image of the delivery person kneeling spread in the local delivery group, hundreds of delivery workers went to Xixi Century Center demanding an explanation, questioning why the property management forced the rider to kneel, and asking for an apology. A large number of police officers rushed to the scene, leading to a confrontation between the delivery workers and the police, which escalated into physical conflict. As of 8 p.m. that day, many delivery workers and onlookers were still gathered outside the involved community. Delivery workers are often humiliated. Last month, a delivery man was insulted and spat on by customers while delivering food. On July 24th, in a hospital in Anhui Province, a delivery worker was seen covering his ears and crying on the ground. Several women around him asked, "Why did he hit you?" It turned out that he had delivered the wrong meal and was insulted by the customer. The delivery worker continued to cover his ears and cry. At this point, a man in a hospital gown approached with a bag of food and said, "Brother, take it." He then spat directly on the delivery worker's face. Some netizens angrily commented, "Spitting directly on someone's face is a provocation. Just call the police." The fact that this man is hospitalized suggests he is a decent person, possibly with a good job. If he doesn't want to be detained and lose his job, he should compensate the delivery worker. On the evening of April 2nd, a delivery worker in Shanghai ran a red light and nearly hit an elderly man. When the traffic police stopped him, he broke down and kept shouting, "Oh my God, I'm late. You want me to die, right?" He also repeatedly hit himself with his helmet. Some netizens said, "My tenant is a delivery worker. I asked him why he was so anxious to deliver food. He said, 'If you don't work hard to take orders and maintain a high number of deliveries, you'll slowly lose orders. Being late and receiving complaints also greatly affects the number of orders you get.'"